کابل ته د پاکستان د سفیر ماموریت له پراخو نیوکو ناندریو سره مخ و. د منصور احمد خان له شخصي لیدنو نیولې بیا د تر ځینو حساسو ټویټونو او څرګندونو عام افغانان په غوسه کړي دي. د خان 2 کلن ماموریت نور پای ته رسېدلی او پر ځای بل ډیپلومات راځي. ولې د هغه دا ماموریت دومره ناندریز شو؟ موږ یې دلته ورسره سپینوو.
Ambassador, I begin with your achievements as Ambassador of Pakistan to Kabul. Which achievements did you have during your two-year period?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I would like to thank Shamshad TV for taking once again my interview at a time when I am concluding my 2 years stay here. I came in September 2020 when peace process was at an important juncture. Efforts were being made for forward movement in the peace process. I had engagement with the previous government, a very positive engagement, and then this change took place, and then we continue to have, we are one of the embassies or ambassadors who remained present in Afghanistan during the time when change took place, and we ensured that we continue to facilitate the people initially in evacuation. And when Afghan interim government, the current government of the Islamic Emirate was formed, we are also having engagement with them, like other countries are also having engagement with them, in order to ensure that the political developments in Afghanistan continue to move towards durable peace and stability. So it has been, I would say, a very productive stay in terms of the efforts I have made or we have made on behalf of the Embassy of Pakistan or on behalf of the government of Pakistan. But I believe there also remain many challenges which are being faced by Afghanistan and Afghans, and of course we would like to see more engagement with our government, with other countries, neighboring countries and the region, and we wish best of luck for the people of Afghanistan in the future.
Yeah, we had a number of ambassadors, of course, of the Pakistan to Kabul. But you tell me, Mr. Ambassador, what have you done differently than the others ambassador to Kabul?
I think I have tried to promote Pakistan's or deepen cooperation between Pakistan and Afghanistan, both at the state-to-state level. As I said, that there were two governments, previous government of Islamic Republic of Afghanistan and the later Afghan interim government. And then I have also tried to maintain and deepen close contacts with Afghan society, Afghan politicians from across the spectrum, all Afghan politicians. When the peace process was moving forward, I was interacting with all Afghan leaders who were present here, or some of them are now abroad, but I had very friendly interaction with them. And later, after Afghan interim government, current Afghan interim government was established, I continued to maintain these contacts with opposition politicians, with the Afghan society, with the Afghan media, and tried to portray or convey a very clear message that Pakistan wants stability in Afghanistan, Pakistan wants to strengthen people-to-people contacts with Afghanistan, and Pakistan wants to strengthen economic cooperation and connectivity with Afghanistan.
As you said, you were now in this two-year period of yours, you were ambassador with the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan, now with the Islamic Emirates, and you are one of those few ambassadors who did not leave the country after the regime change. How do you describe your relationship with the interim Afghan government in this 1 year?
Pakistan has always maintained diplomatic presence, political presence inside Afghanistan, whatever the phase of whatever was happening in this in the country in past 3-4 decades. During this phase also, when this change took place, first of all, after 15th August, we engaged into a hectic process of helping evacuation of those people, those Afghans or those foreigners who were trying to leave from Afghanistan to temporarily relocate in Pakistan, or through Pakistan leaving to other countries. And then later this transformed into a humanitarian engagement. And in humanitarian engagement, we were engaged with Afghan interim government leadership as well as other Afghan institutions and international institutions. And then we in the subsequent months, we have been focusing on economic engagement, deepening economic engagement, because the currently Afghanistan faces economic sanctions, banking restrictions and so many other challenges, because of which livelihood opportunities have reduced, size of the economy has shrunk. Our focus has been to promote bilateral trade with Afghanistan, and as a result of these efforts, Pakistan also reduced duties and sales tax on Afghan products going from Afghanistan to Pakistan. As a result of these efforts, this is the first time in the history that Afghan exports have increased or surpassed Pakistan's exports to Afghanistan. So we believe that there have been so many things which we have tried to facilitate during this period despite the challenges.
Mr. Ambassador, me personally, being a journalist based in Afghanistan and being in close interaction engagement with the common Afghans here, unlike other Pakistan's ambassador to Kabul, Mr. Ambassador, unfortunately, people are not satisfied with your presence in Kabul, if I may say. What is your response to them?
No, I think I have been engaging with the Afghan people in a very constructive and very positive manner. We have been trying to facilitate movement of Afghans to Pakistan. We have been engaging with Afghan government leadership. We have been engaging with Afghan politicians. And the criticism which you are talking about is coming on Pakistan or Pakistan embassy here or Pakistan's ambassador. This is by a small group of vested interests, and it is not generally by the Afghan society. Afghan society, Afghan people want to deepen relations, contacts with Pakistan. They have been engaging with me with a view to expand people-to-people contacts, expand cooperation between the two countries. They have been requesting or they have been engaging with us for facilitating visa processes. More Afghans during this period of last 1 year have gone to Pakistan than to any other country. More visas have been issued by Pakistan to Afghans than by any other country. So I think the facts on the ground speak differently. And they are the response to this criticism which is coming from some social media websites and sectors.
Yeah. I want to show you some pictures, Mr. Ambassador, as you expressed that you had relations with different political groups, personalities and figures. These are your visits with some Afghan fractions, which looks very, personal, rather than being official visits. The question is, were these meetings and visits part of your mission given, or you had personal visits with these people?
No, I think when an ambassador is posted here, when an ambassador is posted to a friendly neighboring country, and where there is deep-rooted people-to-people interaction between the two countries, it is the ambassador's job to meet all those people. Sometimes, most of the appointments are in the context of official engagement, but then ambassadors are also supposed to have engagement with the society, engagement with all segments of the society, civil society, engagement with businessmen, engagement with political leaders, engagement with all kinds of shades of opinion that represent the Afghan society. And my engagement has been very transparent, my engagement has been above board, and it has been in the knowledge of everyone. So I think the engagement has been with a view to strengthen contacts between the two societies and contacts between the two peoples, and also contacts between the two governments, and that is the work of the ambassadors. So I think I don't see this criticism coming from some sections that my engagement has been not that all ambassadors have. Actually, if you look at most of the European ambassadors or United Nations personnel who are present here, they travel more than me to other parts of Afghanistan, and they have been having more engagement in some ways with the Afghan society. So I think it is a normal process of engagement, and sometimes people try to criticize this, but again I would repeat that this criticism is coming from certain sections, certain vested interests.
irrespective of your specific 2-year period, I'm not talking about this period only, generally speaking, for the decades, it is believed that Pakistan is more interested to be concentrated on fractions and groups in Afghanistan rather than being concentrated in working closely with governments of Afghanistan. Why this approach?
No, I think Pakistan has been interested in state-to-state engagement. State-to-state engagement means that Pakistan has to engage with government which is in place at a particular time, and that is why I told you that we were very positively engaged with the previous government, and then when change took place, we are engaged with this government also to promote cooperation in various fields. Then at the same time, this is the work of diplomats and this is important for the neighboring countries to have people-to-people engagement. This happens among all neighbors, not only between Pakistan and Afghanistan, but in all parts of the world. Neighbors engage very closely with each other, and there is important people-to-people engagement that takes place. So I think both the forms are important. State-to-state engagement is important for promoting institutional cooperation between the two countries, and people-to-people engagement or society-to-society engagement is important for strengthening the bonds of friendship, because there is a deep bond of friendship between Pakistan and Afghanistan. We share the same history, religion, culture, habits, everything. Yeah. We have a long border. So I think people-to-people engagement has been taking
there is
taking
rational,
place.
Mr. Ambassador, people-to-people, you said. That's completely rational and logical. But it comes that state to people, like Pakistan state to people in Afghanistan, like fractions to group. It is believed so.
When you are undertaking people-to-people engagement or facilitating people-to-people engagement, it means that states' representatives are also interacting with all segments of the society. For example, Afghan diplomats serving in Pakistan for past many years have been meeting all segments of Pakistani society, have been meeting people from all provinces. Similarly, Pakistani representatives working in Kabul or in our consulates have been meeting all segments of the society. And in recent years or for past many years, Pakistan has ensured that its engagement has been with the government, but its engagement has been with all the political parties in Afghanistan, also all the political leaders. Like as part of my farewell calls also, I have called on former President Hamid Karzai, I have called on Dr. Abdullah, who was chairman of High Council for National Reconciliation. I have called on Gulbuddin Hikmatyar Sahib. So I think this is, part of normal diplomatic engagement. It should not be construed in any other way.
And were they fruitful?
This has been very fruitful, because I think that Pakistan and Afghanistan are two countries which have a very close relationship with each other, which have a very long border. In the strengthening of relations is in the interest of both the countries, is in the interest of peoples of both the countries. I think in that context, engagement with the Afghan interim government as well as engagement with all the political leaders has always been very useful.
Yeah. I'm sure you heard yesterday's press conference of the acting Defense Minister of Afghanistan, Mullah Yaqub, and we also had a response from the Foreign Ministry of Pakistan.
Yes.
If you tell me, Mr. Ambassador, if not Pakistan, from where these drones come to Afghanistan, do they conduct airstrikes or patrolling the space in Afghanistan?
Yes, we have seen the remarks or statement of the Afghan Minister of Defense, and as you have said, that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Pakistan has also reacted to it. In his own remarks, the Honorable Afghan Minister of Defense, acting Afghan Minister of Defense, has himself indicated that the radar system was not working and they cannot tell with certainty as to from where these drones have come or from where these drones have overflown. And since Ministry of Foreign Affairs has already issued a statement in which they have reaffirmed sovereignty and territorial integrity of Afghanistan, and we believe that Pakistan's soil and Pakistan's space should not be used against any other country. I think I will stick to that, and if there is any information or detail shared by the Afghan side with Pakistan on this issue, Pakistan is ready to engage through official bilateral channel with the Afghan side. But we reaffirm the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Afghanistan. This is a fundamental principle of Pakistan's policy.
بیرته راګرځو. موږ سره پاتې شئ.
Yeah, in the statement of the Pakistan Foreign Ministry, it was said that Afghanistan soil should not be used to for other countries to be threatened. Why was this statement made? As you know better, that Afghan government, the interim government, is repeatedly promising that this soil will not be used again. Was it used against Pakistan? Why was this remark made?
No, I think it has been said that it is an important principle of relations that soil of Pakistan or soil of Afghanistan should not be used against any other country. And Afghan interim government has continued to reiterate or reaffirm this principle when we have interaction with Afghan side, Afghan institutions, Afghan security and defense institutions or Afghanistan's foreign ministry with regard to Afghanistan's foreign ministry with regard to issues relating to terrorism. We believe that it is time that both the countries should take decisive steps for the elimination of terrorism. On the issue of TTP or on the issue of Baloch insurgent support, we have been taking up this matter that the TTP elements present in Afghanistan should not be undertaking any terrorist activities in Pakistan. And there, I think, in our engagement, because Afghan interim government is also facilitating the talks between Pakistan and TTP, as part of that process, Afghan interim government has continued to reaffirm to the Pakistan side that it is their policy that their soil will not be allowed to be used against any other country. We believe in that, but we have been reaffirming this in our public statements also.
Do you believe there is a presence of TTP members in Afghanistan?
TTP members are present in Afghanistan. We had interaction with them, which was supported by Afghan interim government as part of negotiation or as part of dialogue, which is continuing.
Yeah, of course, I know about that process, not those negotiators or interlocutors of that group. Those who you believe that will harm this.
In recent years, I think in recent years, during the previous governments also and during the current government also, we have been providing evidence to the Afghan side of the presence of such elements who have been undertaking terrorist activity in Pakistan, and it is in the interest of both countries that we need to address this issue. And therefore, when Afghan interim government offered Pakistan its offices for a dialogue with TTP so that this issue can be brought to an end through peaceful means, we have welcomed that offer, and we are in touch or we are in contact with the Afghan authorities, in coordination with the Afghan authorities in moving this process forward. So we believe, bottom line is that terrorism is dangerous, or terrorism is against the interests of Afghanistan, is against the interests of Pakistan, and both the countries have to cooperate with each other in eliminating all the terrorist groups without any exception.
To have the confirmation in the first time, Afghan government suggested negotiations with TTP in between the Pakistan government. Firstly,
the negotiation, Afghan interim, when we took up this matter with the Afghan interim government a few months ago, and Afghan interim government offered us that the first preference should be for having a dialogue. We accepted that, and then as a result of that, several rounds of dialogues have taken place, and we believe that it is a positive gesture of the Afghan government, and we appreciate it. But it is also important to take this process forward and bring this issue to an end. Otherwise, cross-border terrorism will continue to affect peace and stability in Afghanistan and in Pakistan, and it is, I think, in the interest of both countries to put this issue to an end.
Yeah, those negotiations with TTP and between Pakistan government actually worked, sort of, because you had the ceasefire.
It led to ceasefire, yes.
So, talking about future scenarios, Mr. Ambassador, what if these negotiations fail? What will be the plan B for Pakistan?
I think at this moment our focus and focus of all the three sides, that is Pakistan government, Afghan government and TTP, has been, should be to ensure that the negotiation process leads to a successful outcome, brings peace, brings a peaceful end to this issue. Whatever can happen, if it fails or if the outcome is not according to the satisfaction of any party, then it will be something which will be seen at that time. Me speculating at this point in time when negotiations are underway, I think our hope is that this process would culminate into a successful, peaceful end of the conflict.
Yes, coming to another issue, Mr. Ambassador, the issue of visas. That is quite vital, Mr. Ambassador, because now it is completely sort of impossible to cut the relationship of people of Afghanistan with the people of Pakistan because of the relationships, religious, language relationships we have with the people. Last time, I know you promised, actually you said that there is talking and negotiation happening with the Afghan government so that problem can be resolved mutually, as you said that there were problems among the agencies that they are working in Afghanistan. Tell me about the process of and the process of that negotiations. And the second part of this question is, actually, why did you in first place decided that you will stop issuing in-person visas and start online visas, knowing that the people of Afghanistan are not that privileged to have internet, to have those facilities of applying themselves. So they have to go to agencies, which creates problems for you, as you believe. Why didn't you restart those issues of visa in person?
I think this is a very pertinent question. First of all, visa is an important issue, as I also stated to you in my previous interviews that there have been problems in visa processing, and these problems have been due to the situation you also explained, that there is a large number of agents on which Afghans have to rely for applying their visas, and because of that we have not been able to have any kind of regulation. That is where we requested the Afghan government, and we are still in touch with the Afghan Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Afghan Ministry of Interior for devising some mechanism for regulating these agencies who can process the visas, so that we can track the applications being made and the channels through which applications are coming to our system, and then find out where, if there is any irregularity, who is committing that irregularity. And secondly, you asked a question about why we have made this entire visa system online. Our visa system until the end of the year 2020 or by the mid of the year 2021 used to be in-person visas, but then Pakistan has introduced globally. Pakistan has taken its visa online globally, not just for Afghanistan, but for all the countries. So the authorities inside Pakistan have made visa for all parts of the world online, and the in-person visa has been totally eliminated from the system. It is part of Pakistan's policy. So now I think it would be important that we have to devise arrangements in case of Afghanistan also to ensure that online visa system becomes more transparent if certain checks and balances can be introduced. And we have been promised by Afghan authorities that they are considering a system of regulation of the agents.
Yeah. In July this year, there was a trade delegation visit to Kabul by Pakistan, from Pakistan, in which a number of promises were pledged. Among them, one was the commencement of luxury buses from Peshawar to Kabul, perhaps.
Peshawar to Jalalabad.
Peshawar to Jalalabad. And it was exactly at the end of August to be started. Where is
luxury bus service facility is starting. That luxury bus service has reached final stages. It was agreed when Pakistan delegation came to Afghanistan in July. It was agreed that we will try to start it by the end of August. I think the progress which I have received from both sides in my meetings, I understand that if not by the end of August, by the beginning of September, sometime during the first half of September, the bus is likely to start. Companies have been shortlisted. Only some procedures are being addressed, because for so many years there has been no bus service. So there are some issues which are being resolved, but the bus service would start soon.
Yeah, Mr. Ambassador, during your period, which areas were there, do you think, that in which you have not done much?
I think
you couldn't do much.
Yeah, I will be very frank on that, and that is also an area relating to movement of people, facilitating movement of people. While there have been some problems in visa, but again I would say that in visas we have issued a large number of visas also. There remain some issues, but we have been issuing visas. But the border crossing points like Torkham, Chaman, चमन स्पिन बोल्दक, गुलाम खान, खरलाची, अंगूर अड्डा, these border crossing points have not been modernized. I made lot of effort in coordination with Pakistani authorities and Afghan authorities that these crossing points should not look like 19th century crossing points. These crossing points should transform into 21st century crossing points if we have to ensure that movement of people takes place in a dignified manner, the trade and transit movement takes place in the volume is enhanced, and then the procedures have to be more efficient and more effective. Waiting areas and all those paraphernalia or all that infrastructure has to be developed jointly by both sides. In that area, efforts were made, but somehow because of the ground conditions, the desired results have not been achieved. And I would be very frank that I think there is a lot of scope for making that improvement, and I hope my successors can contribute in that direction.
Yeah, my last question, Mr. Ambassador, what advice would you want to give to your successor?
I think I would say that Afghanistan and Pakistan relations and process of durable peace and stability in Afghanistan is at a very decisive stage. After, we missed opportunities in the past. We missed opportunities in 1980s or early 1990s. We missed opportunities for durable stability and harmony in Afghanistan and in the relations after 2001. And now we are sitting at a very credible opportunity. And that credible opportunity is to ensure that the two countries interact with each other according to the sovereign norms of relations between the two countries, and work for strengthening people-to-people exchanges, and more importantly, even more importantly, economic interaction and regional connectivity. So that will be my message, that movement forward should be towards regional connectivity.
Pakistan's outgoing ambassador to Kabul, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Zangari Maraka-30.08.2022.
له لیدلو مو مننه.